Hey guys, what is up? I am Rosie, and this is a story that I had on my other computer. I'm hoping that the sound quality with this different microphone will be better. But this is something I wanted to tell on my other computer. The narration is there, I just can't get it off, so I thought I'd just redo it. Okay, so starting off, I want to say 2017 has been horrible. We experienced even more horrifying and heartbreaking celebrity deaths. There was Chris Cornell, and sometime after I lost touch with my other laptop, there was Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. And sadly, we lost one of my K-pop babies, Junghyun, from Shiny. And he also had a very lucrative and successful solo career. He wrote and composed songs for different groups, including his own. And right now, I can't even listen to his music. So I just wanted to start off by saying rest in peace, Junghyun. Um, so this is a story that I remember from when I was like, I guess 13 years old. And I think it was like the end of 1990 going upon 1991. I can't remember what month it was, but it had to have been like sometime in maybe November, October or November, because I remember it was kind of cool outside that night and the whole family was there and it was like coming upon Christmas or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, okay, I told about this guy in one of my other videos, and it was one of my rape awareness videos. If I remember, I will put the link in the description if you want to check that out. He was the one who kissed me one morning. I was 13 years old, and he kissed me and gave me $5 not to tell. And then he told me, "You don't have to go to school today." And I was like, "Oh, yes, I do." But I'll put that link in the description if you want to hear my experiences with rape and molestation, all that crap. But anyway, okay, this night I don't remember all of the details because it was so long ago. I was 13 years old. I'm 41 now. And so I believe my aunt, and I will call her, what am I going to call my aunt? I will call her Denise. Yeah, that's good. I'll call her Denise. She called my mom asking her if she will ride to West End to get my grandmother with her. And so my mom was up for the ride, and I think she was told that that my grandmother was beat up or something. I don't know. And for this story, I will also call my step grandfather, my ex step grandfather, Hamadula, because that's what my aunt called him. So I will call him Hamadula, and I will call my grandmother Big Mama because that is a very common Southern name for black grandmothers. So my aunt came to pick my mom up, and I went with her because I was 13 years old, and at that time, I wasn't left home alone very often. And if I was, it wasn't for very long. So I went, and so did my other two cousins, my aunt's two children. And we went to go get her, and on the side of the house, immediately upon driving up in the driveway, we saw this big, huge head-shaped spots of blood against the house. And we couldn't tell what it was because it was so dark out. And my former step-grandfather, Hamadula, was marching up and down the sidewalk like with a rifle. And my aunt ran into the house with her gun. And my mom, I think, went in too, or maybe she stayed in the car. I don't know. But I just remember my aunt running in with her gun, and my, uh, oh God, she was in such bad shape. Hamadula told one of his friends, I'm gonna go and finish this bitch off. He had every intention of going into the house and shooting my grandmother dead. He already tried to beat her to death and almost succeeded, and he was gonna finish her off with the rifle. So my aunt came out with my grandmother, and my mom had to help them get my grandmother into the car. When they came out, I couldn't even recognize her because she had all these bumps and bruises and lacerations all over her face. Her face was like covered in blood. She had blood on her shirt. Some of the skin was hanging down from like her ear or the side of her face or something. And then she could barely speak, but I heard her say, my arm just dangling. He had broken her arm in several places. Her left arm, I believe it was. And she had a deflated lung when we got her to the hospital. And she was just really, really in a bad place. Um, that night traumatized me and my cousins, and of course my big mama's children, my aunts and uncles. And everybody was there. All of my aunts, all of my uncles, all of my cousins. We were all there that night. And we were pissed. We were pissed to the point that even us kids were plotting and planning what we were going to do to Hamadula. We were going to kill him. We didn't know how we were going to do it because none of us had any weapons, but we were going to get him. My uncle, God bless him, he's so sweet, but he wanted to get a knife, and my other uncles had to tell him, speak some sense into him. You can't bring a knife to a gunfight. And so we were just like traumatized and pissed off and sad and worried and everything for my grandmother. Ultimately, when Big Mama got home, she came home with us. My mom had the task of taking care of her and nursing her back to health. And she recovered nicely, quite nicely actually. And in May of the following year, she got an apartment with my uncle who wanted to kill Hamadula with a knife. And yeah, they got an apartment together. I was happy to get my room back because I had to move out of my room and give her my twin bed, and I slept on the couch, which was okay with me because we had the Christmas tree up and the Christmas tree lights were going every night, and I loved that. I loved going to sleep seeing that and waking up seeing it. So it was cool with me. Um, the last I heard of Hamadula, he was in prison for the rest of his life because he ultimately did end up with another girlfriend. He had a girlfriend and he murdered her. And it scares me, it frightens me to think that that could have been my grandmother. Since then, my grandmother has passed away. She passed away in 2015, and she is buried next to her final husband, who she married some years back, and their grave sites are right next to each other. Her name was already on it and everything. So she hopefully is resting peacefully. And Hamadula, I hope he rots in prison. And that is all for this story. It was very traumatizing, very heartbreaking, and very scary. So, if I could think of any other stories that I have recorded that I want to tell you guys, I will put them here on YouTube. I will try to figure out how to put music in my videos again, but for right now, you just have my voice. And for right now, you guys, I'm going to go. I love you all very, very much. Thanks for sticking with me and not giving up on me. And I hope to see you guys on the next upload. Bye for now.